So first of all, if you'll skip to the next slide, we're here because our food system has made it much easier for global food than local food. A lot of times it's the reason people don't have farmers markets or fresh stuff near them. It's just not that easy. Farmers aren't able to make it happen sometimes. There's no distribution or markets. If you'll switch next. About 99, almost over 95% of the food travels through these two outer layers, global, anonymous, or large volume. This is kind of a diagram of our food system. And there's other layers too, regional, local, home and neighborhood. Those things have fallen by the wayside, and that's part of what we're trying to rebuild now. And the results of this global food system, if you'll pass it along, those other parts of our food system have literally washed out. It's easier for a farmer to send potatoes halfway around the country and back in a potato chip bag than it is to take them to the school down the road, because they don't have the storage, or the school doesn't have the time to work with several farmers. You know, there's a lot of reasons why it's easier for junk food to happen in our food system. You'll go next. So the results of that, that's rural and urban poverty a lot. The agricultural economy has fallen by the wayside in rural areas. And if you go to the next one, we have places in both rural and urban areas where people don't have access to decent food. So what we're doing is, as a community, that's not working for us. It's not working for our economy, our health, and we all know that, but people are building new pathways for food. And that the fact that there's lots of potholes in the way is not stopping us. And how that's happening, if you go to the next one, there's those three layers I talked about in the food system, and there's so much innovation and investment happening, as you know, here and around the country at those new levels, and we're rebuilding those. At the home and neighborhood level, that idea of taste has been a really big one. People saying, I know what a real peach tastes like. I know the juice goes down my arm. And so people are trying to find a way to make that happen for each other. And that's a real big part of the nutrition education, the introducing people to new foods that is happening. The next slide, gardens. A lot of you are involved with gardens. That's a really great way to introduce kids to what you know tastes really good. And then, of course, all the relationships and learning about land and growing things. And so those are expanding all around the country. In Detroit, you guys may know, they have vast acreages of empty land like most cities in the country. They have a whole network of community gardens. They've gone from, just 10 years ago, about 75 community gardens and home gardens that started working together to share tools and things like that. And now they're up to 1,400 of them in different districts that all work together. And that whole, not only are they providing food for each other and building relationships, they're building power. They recently, a whole Detroit Food Council has developed out of that, and other initiatives. And recently the city is interested in developing agriculture on all that vast acreage. And there's quite a few people who want to put bigger farm operations there. And, but getting access to all these plots of land is very difficult. And a lot of people have tried, but the city is very confusing. Anyway, the city was getting ready to give a bunch of land to one farmer. And the Detroit Food Policy Council said, wait a minute. They have power now. They're saying, wait a minute, we need a better system to make sure that everybody that wants access to land, we have a fair, open, transparent, and clear way to do that. That's the kind of things that's growing out of a simple garden, connecting them. And the next slide, please. So farm to school is a big one. And again, that starts with wanting to make sure the kids know what good food tastes like and can make different choices. In northern Michigan, where I've worked for many years, 10 years ago, we started connecting farms and schools. And at that time, there were just a handful of farm-to-school programs in 2 or 3 states. And now all 50 states have them. 13,000 schools are involved, and 6 million children are affected. And so it's still a small part of the whole system, but it's also growing, and growing in power. The Farm Bill is a federal legislation that has done things like putting money and more power for schools to buy from local farms, because they had a whole lot of purchasing impediments that wouldn't let them necessarily go and do that very easily. So those things are changing now. In northern Michigan, what we started, the first thing we did was we decided to work with one school because it was a new idea. The school, we thought we needed to raise a bunch of money to get them to work with us, but they said, you know what, we could try something really small because we're interested also in getting good food to kids. So we came up with this idea for 1 month, one day of 1 week each month, we featured a different farm product. It was local apples one day, then the farmer came to school, and then it was potatoes once, and we worked with the kitchen to come up with ways to cook it and serve it. They promoted it to the kids. And we had really cool outcomes like kids choosing the local dish over pizza that day, you know, things like that, that got the school really interested, and then the program has grown from there. Now the Traverse City system is serving local food across all their schools, but it started with one school and a few farms. And so that was a fun project, but that's how it starts, you and the food service person and the farmer. And the next slide. We heard about veggie trucks earlier. This is one from Battle Creek, Michigan. And these are urban gardens that have gotten together and are starting to now supply the veggie trucks. So it's growing food for your neighborhood, but also building entrepreneurship out of that and taking it to your community in these ways. So that's a really great development. Those are just some examples. So the next layer. If you can't find that great juicy tomato at the grocery store and you aren't able to or want to grow it yourself, where are you going to go? You try to find that farmer. And a whole new market has developed, and we call it the direct market part of our food economy, and it's exploding. Farmers are doing it in various ways at farmers markets and things like that. It has become the 5th most common activity in agriculture now. It's a new thing for many farms that have been doing other businesses, selling corn and doing different products, but they're adding, you know, a few acres and trying something else. And so now it's becoming much more common. It's growing. And we'll have the next slide. So farmers markets are an example of the direct market commerce. And 10 years ago, Michigan had like 65 farmers markets. It was kind of measly compared to other states. Michigan's now 4th in the country with over 300 markets. Some of them are here. And a third of them are accepting food assistance benefits, which is huge in the country. I think we lead the country on that. The next one. And another direct marketing example is the community-supported agriculture model, where you subscribe or pay up front for some product from a farm. And a lot of urban gardens are doing that as well. And the next one. Just guides to where you can find local food. That's a really big part of the direct market. These are examples of projects and things that communities have done to build our food system. Taste the Local Difference is a program we developed in northern Michigan. The guide started 8 years ago or so and had about 150 farms, and now there's over 300 farms in it. And that was a way that we also started getting our local government and economic development officials involved. Talking about the economic development of connecting grocers and people with farmers, and the Chamber of Commerce, hospitals, and people like that all started getting involved in the project, and they started becoming the sponsors on the back of the guide and started owning that project. So that's a strategy for engaging them, but also paying for the project. And let's have another one. This is a young man in Battle Creek who is heading up their urban garden project and working with youth groups to raise food, and there's a network growing there. An interesting part of what they're doing is connecting with the food bank. They're also producing food for the food bank, seedlings for the food bank, and getting the youth involved in creating container gardens to get out to people in their neighborhood. So they're putting their resources together. Right now, in order to do what they're doing, they're having to work together, and the food bank is finding value in working with the urban garden people because of the youth that's involved and the fact that they can grow the sprouts. They're in the greenhouse of the local botanical garden. that had extra space. And so that's a way that they got access to a greenhouse, is starting to work with the botanical garden. And so there's just lots of ways that they're making it all work by sharing resources and partnering up. And then we have one more picture for this. This is food service director at Bronson Hospital in Kalamazoo. As you all know, a lot of hospitals, like schools, are saying we need to do something about the food we're serving and also about the environment of food that people have in their communities. And so some, like in Bronson, are really stepping out to buy local food for their own service in their cafeteria and rooms. Bronson's up to about 20% of their food from local sources now. And their purchasing has built quite a few farm businesses and cheese businesses and all these businesses that are getting started around Kalamazoo because they have a bigger buyer in the hospital as one of their first customers, to really get them going.